There are 1,000 ways to improve soil, but every now and then you stumble across something so simple and so effective that it rewires how you think about garden amendments. Charred waste paper turned out to be one of those shockingly powerful discoveries. Most gardeners already know the benefits of biochar, but very few realize that paper, yes, the junk mail, cardboard scraps, packing paper, old worksheets and shredded office waste, can be transformed into a lightweight, nutrient-holding soil amendment that acts almost exactly like plant-grade biochar. And in a small home setup, it's far easier and faster to produce. What happens after you char paper and incorporate it into the soil is nothing short of remarkable. The vegetables grow stronger, roots grow deeper, and the soil becomes airy and alive. Let's walk through exactly why this works and how you can replicate it safely and effectively this season. Understanding why charred paper works in the soil is the first key. Paper is already a carbon-dense material, made largely from processed plant fibers. When you char it, you're essentially stabilizing the carbon structure and creating tons of microscopic pores. These tiny pores act as homes for beneficial microbes. Just like biochar, charred paper captures nutrients that would normally wash away in rain or irrigation, then slowly releases them back to plants. This ability to hold and distribute nutrients is called cation exchange capacity, and increasing it is one of the surest ways to improve poor soil. Even more importantly, charred paper dramatically improves aeration. Compressed or clay-heavy soil opens up when you add it, allowing roots to breathe and water to drain smoothly instead of stagnating. The result is, well, a growing environment where roots function at full power rather than struggling to survive. The process of charring paper is actually easier than you'd expect, and it doesn't require any specialized equipment. You can use a small burn barrel, a cast iron pot with a lid, or even a backyard fire pit. The key is limiting oxygen so the paper chars instead of burning to ash. The simplest version is to loosely fill a metal tin with dry paper, put the lid on and place it beside, not in, the flames of a fire. The ambient heat slowly chars the paper without letting it combust. Most batches take about 30 to 60 minutes depending on thickness. When you open the tin after cooling, the paper should be black, lightweight, matte rather than dusty, and still loosely holding its shape. Too much air and it becomes ash. Too little heat and it becomes toasted rather than charred. After you get the feel for it, honestly, the process becomes second nature. Preparing the charred paper for soil use makes all the difference in performance. Raw char tends to be extremely absorbent and can actually tie up nutrients if added immediately to a garden bed. That's why gardeners charge biochar before using it, and the same principle applies here. The simplest way to charge charred paper is to soak it in compost tea, diluted worm castings, rainwater mixed with fish emulsion, or even the runoff from your compost pile. Just let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. During this time, the pores fill with nutrients and beneficial microbes, transforming it from an inert material into a living amendment. You'll know it's ready when it has softened slightly and has that earthy microbial smell that healthy soil products carry. Incorporating charred paper into garden beds is honestly quite straightforward, and even small amounts can go a long way. For established beds, a practical ratio is 1 part charred paper to 10 parts soil. That means more or less a gallon of char for every wheelbarrow of soil being amended. You'll want to mix it deeply into the top 6 to 8 inches so that it sits right in the root zone, where its benefits really matter. Now, in container gardens, it's best to use a lighter ratio, about 1 part char for every 15 parts potting soil, since containers tend to concentrate amendments more strongly. When building new beds or filling raised beds, you can, quite safely, go heavier, adding up to 10% by volume, especially if the native soil is compressed, lifeless, or low in carbon. Every vegetable tested in char-amended soil grows differently, but leafy greens, squash and tomatoes tend to respond strongest due to their high nutrient demand and large root systems. The changes you see in the soil after using charred paper are both immediate and long-lasting. Right away, you'll notice that the soil stays moist for longer, without becoming soggy. Water infiltration improves because the char breaks up compaction, so irrigation doesn't pool on the surface or run off. Over the following weeks, the microbial population skyrockets. The char provides safe shelter for fungi and bacteria, which, increases decomposition rates and nutrient cycling. Plants respond with thicker stems, higher leaf density, and improved resistance to stress. The real magic, though, is that char doesn't break down quickly. While compost disappears within a year, charred paper remains stable for seasons, slowly contributing to long-term soil structure. It's honestly one of the rare amendments that improves both short-term fertility and long-term resilience at the same time. Some gardeners worry about inks or dyes in printed paper, but most modern inks are soy-based and garden-safe. If you want to be extra cautious, just avoid glossy magazine paper or heavy-colored advertising pages and stick to cardboard, craft paper, packing paper, junk mail envelopes, or shredded bills. So these all char cleanly and, contain the highest proportion of natural plant fibers. Even cardboard with the tape removed chars beautifully, producing lightweight flakes that, blend instantly into the soil. This simple practice turns waste into a powerful soil-building tool with almost no cost. Every household produces paper waste, and every gardener needs more organic matter in their soil. Turning that waste into plant-grade char solves both problems at once. Once you try it, you'll likely find yourself collecting even more scrap paper just to make another batch. And because charred paper stores indefinitely, you can make it all year and apply it whenever your soil needs a boost. If you enjoyed this guide, make sure to subscribe, share this video with other gardeners, and keep the cycle of homegrown soil wisdom alive.